What's up, fellas? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to podcast episode PSA 10. I got some real legends in the building, and I'm really excited to finally get some new guests on the Pullwax podcast, episode 10. We got Mark, Prestige Pulls, Chris from Rip Wax, and SniperManis. How you guys doing today?
What's up?
Let's go.
I'm excited.
Let's go.
Shades on.
I love it.
You got to feel the vibe.
Ladies and gentlemen, these are some really knowledgeable people on this podcast, and I really want to get super informative on this one. So you guys listened to episode 9, which was talking about, the hobby and nationals and trade shows and everything along those lines. And now I want you to get some opinions from some professional, more experienced gentlemen. So we brought Rip Wax and SniperManis on the show. So Sniper, let's begin with you. Can you give a little introduction about yourself and how you got into the hobby and just, a little bit about yourself?
So I've been collecting cards now going back 30 years, on and off. Took some time off for a bit, because I was busy, with my career and whatnot. And when you decided to open up the store, and created Pullwax, for me, it was like, holy shit, like cards are coming back again. And for me, it was like, you get so caught up in life that you're so busy in your day-to-day of everything that's going on, you kind of forgot the passion of the excitement that cards gave you as a kid. For sure. And for me, it brought me back, and I started looking at comps and eBay, and I was like, wow, this stuff is really starting to come back. And it just brought me back to being a kid, and made me remember the times of ripping and going to the store and taking you to the store.
I remember
when you were 8 years old.
Shout out to BC Sports in the Aventura Mall.
Facts.
Hollywood Collectibles, all that
stuff. So for me, it was
BC Sports.
BC Sports. And you had one in Philly?
They had them in Jersey.
It was a branch. It's a branch. BC Sports, yeah.
Denver Mall, Cherry Hill Mall.
They were that was my LCS.
That was where I used to, that wasn't my
That was my LCS.
But that was where they would always have signings. I would always go to BC Sports.
Gotcha, yeah. I remember the Wampia in Florida.
I met Michael Vick at a BC Sports.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, I did forget to say this podcast is sponsored by Whatnot. Shout out to Whatnot.
To the moon.
Great application. Obviously, we have 4 avid users of Whatnot, and we're going to really dive into that as well. But Sniper, I appreciate that introduction about, just how you got into the hobby. And then obviously throughout this podcast, we'll get more in depth of, experiences, your failures, your accomplishments. And the most important thing of this pod is to inform you guys on how not only to make money, but save money, and how you can be a player in the hobby, and just add value. So, Chris, let's get a little introduction about you. I love your streams. I love what you did on Instagram. I love what you're doing on Whatnot. You guys were kind of the pioneers of Whatnot. So, let's let people know a little bit about you.
What's up, fellas? What's up? Chris, Rip Wax. So let's start off where I got started. I actually started off watching Rizzo Sports Cards and Pullwax.
Shout out to Rizzo.
Yeah,
I remember when we were the only ones on Instagram.
So it was Daddy Rip
and Bullpen.
Daddy Rip.
Shout out to Bullpen LA.
Rizzo, and I used to be in there.
Daddy Rip used to rip on Rizzo?
Yes.
Damn, I didn't even know that.
Straight up. So he was the ripper on Rizzo, and then dude, I got hooked into it watching him.
He's a good ripper.
Because I was spending watching you guys, and then straight up, I just looked at it and I said to myself, how can I do something like this? But for me, it's always how could I do it, better? What could I do different, but bring something to the table that was unique? Mm-hmm. So it started off with Stuart Scott and ESPN, bro. The Booyah. That was my thing. How could I implement that and come to the table?
Cooler than the other side of the pillow.
Yeah, so that's where it all started from. And dude, I started at nighttime after I came home from work. 9, 10, 11 o'clock. And
so you were working a full-time job at this point?
Full-time job. I've only been away from my full-time job for 4 months now.
Jesus.
4 months. So
that's crazy because you've done so much stuff in the you've done a lot. You put a lot of hours in. You put your 10,000 hours for sure.
So it was I'm 38 years old. It was you get to a point where you're okay, you're gonna have all in or all out. So I was all in from the get-go. And then what happened is overnight, dude, slowly you start to put this time into the brand. And then, like, the brand starts to take over. People start to like it. And then, like, you start to pinch your skin in the morning and start to say to yourself, dude, is this real? And then, like, the messages keep coming. And then it's like, dude, this is real. Like, shit, okay. So then the business actually starts to pay for itself as a real business. Then you start asking yourself, oh shit, what am I gonna do here? Like, dude, this business is rocking and rolling. I'm making real money.
Fact.
You have 1 foot in the door, 1 foot out the door. You have to make a decision. So I had to make a decision. Like, dude, I left my job.
That's a big decision.
Big decision. Big.
Prestige is still on that decision. He's
Still.
Are you right now?
I just let it lag, but it's cool. Like I don't know, I make it work.
I'm on that decision too. I'm this
Yeah.
close. Like
Yeah.
So I had to make that decision.
it's hard.
It's very hard.
because you
So-
want to do it so bad, but you
So-
know that
but-
like you probably shouldn't, but you should.
You wanna be safe.
Let's
Yeah.
talk
Yeah,
about
you wanna have
that for a
security.
minute.
Want to have that security blanket.
For sure.
One of the things I really think about this hobby is that a lot of guys get into it not realizing they get into it with no business model. It's just opening packs. And I get it. Don't get it the wrong way. Don't get this twisted, what I'm about to say. But in the beginning, anybody just starts opening packs. And then what happens is people start to build business models behind it. They start to groom it and stuff. And they start to realize what it is. And then it starts to become this. It blossoms as a tree and it becomes this thing. Once it becomes that, dude, you have to treat it that way because you have customers. You become product distribution. You become shipping.
Logistics, fulfillment.
Everything. You got to deal with all that. And then you
The
gotta deal
customer
with
service is key because everyone wants to get answered. Like, good luck calling Panini and trying to
Everyone-
ask them something or anybody along those lines.
And
But
then
on
every-
top of that too, if you're a one-man show, like
It's so hard, man.
You and Prestige are doing this without a team. So,
Yeah.
you know that's
I
a lot.
have to handle
Breaking shipping.
the DMs,
Buying,
the
selling.
selling.
blue
It's a lot.
shots, add up, the
I
text
know.
messages.
I got
add up.
always got like every day there's like 30 requests, and,
And
it's
then-
like, you have to like see through because some of it's bullshit, and then some of it's like, hey man, I bought a package from you and whatnot. Then you got to read it. And it's like,
But what about the guys that say, hey, I pulled this card in your break, but you never even had that card?
Oh, yeah,
So there's
that
been-
But that happens all the
that
time.
happened today.
I saw that today, but that happens all the
happened
time.
we can
And
have-
you want to give them the right answers, but then there's a certain point where it's like, dude, like why you play me as a fool? Like this is my life. Like
So there's
we're
been
trying to
multiple
find that fine
occasions,
line.
Dude, I've had issues where, dude, I've been at fault for things. You have to handle it the
sure.
right way.
You're a human
So
being. You're
you-
gonna mess up. Everybody's gonna mess up.
Exactly. You take responsibility for it. I've had people that have been happy and people that have been upset.
Of
still.
course.
And then, you know, on the other side of the apple, dude, I get the same information as you when it comes to shipping. I send things out. People have to understand that some people look at us because we run a business, so in return, they want to be guaranteed for something because they think like we're Amazon, this and that. And in some sense, it's your choice as the breaker to start to treat the business like that. So
Absolutely.
listen, these are decisions I had to make, dude. I had to start treating the business as a business.
Correct.
And then when you step away from it, you have to realize that now that has to generate the income that you need for the life that you have.
100%.
Outside of that, because you have bills to pay and stuff.
And your
So-
business costs money too. Don't forget
costs
the
a lot of
sponsored
money.
ads and the
Regular.
shipping and the
Everything.
boxes and the top
Everything.
loaders and the sleeves. People don't
And the
put
top
that into
loaders
like,
have only went like this.
People
Cards
don't-
have went like this, and the top loaders continuously just keep going like this, and then it's like, holy shit, wow,
Yeah.
they're still going.
Everything from merch to stickers to because you try to
Merch.
become this full out brand, and that's what sets yourself
Brake
apart.
mats.
And you,
Branding.
but let's talk about that. Those-
Stickers.
Yeah.
Anything.
Shout out to Bernie, Niner card collector. Makes the best
Maybe
mats in the game.
Brake
those-
mats.
those-
Break mats.
I
That's
use
his-
Inked Gaming.
Got you.
Inked Gaming
And shout out to
is something-
Stand Up Displays. They're
Stand Up
dope.
Displays.
They're super
Right,
dope.
the
We all
displays.
yeah,
And-
I mean, I think people do not realize
They're
the
$30.
cost involved in this business. Like for
Correct.
me,
You're 100%
me
right.
being like independent, like doing PSA and razzing
Mm-hmm.
and all the different, whatnot, slab auctions and being like a collector, flipper, slash, I'm constantly evolving in the hobby.
Correct.
So I'm always looking for different avenues, and I think that's important because the market is constantly changing and evolving. So if you're just a breaker, sometimes you got to look at mystery packs and other things. You can't just stick to one lane in business. You have to constantly be flowing and thinking of what's the next thing in the hobby. I think it's very
Oh,
critical.
transitioning is everything,
Transition,
dude.
For sure.
So-
we talked about that.
Yeah,
Dude, when
transitioning
boxes
for-
were sorry to cut you off. I'm just while this is fresh on my mind. Like when boxes were selling at the fastest I've ever sold, like cases on cases on cases. Like I couldn't not insta-fill any break at any time. I was running pull packs and pull box, and I was doing it, and I wasn't even making money because I was trying to figure out what is a cool way to make people make money. Like, dude, I was watching videos back, spot 10 in pull box, 7x their money. At that time, they lost $100 or $200, whatever it may be. But dude, months after you know what I mean? You make so much money. So it's all about being above, like ahead of your time and transitioning.
Of course,
100%.
transition is everything. So like every like 3 months you see, we like have to like kind of transition to something new. Like this past year, dude, football, people didn't really realize football was going to make the run it ran. Football got ran up because every single month a new product got dropped. And I'm going to tell you right now, dude, it's going to go like this. NBA is going to come. It's going to have a little spike for a little bit right now because we have a run-up of a few good products.
In the playoffs.
And then NFL's coming right back again because 5 quarterbacks.
Trevor Lawrence on thing.
And you're going to see soccer. I hate to tell you guys, World Cup's coming. Soccer's going to come.
2022 is going to be crazy for soccer.
2021, 2022 NBA draft class coming out, it's so bad that people are actually going to look back and say, dude, 1920 Zion is still the year. Maybe that product will
I
go
thought
back
that
up
would
in
be
that
for
time.
2021. I was worried about the class, and like thankfully the class did well.
LaMelo Ball's the pool.
Yeah, but I also didn't really believe, you know what I mean? Like coming into it, like as a player, I honestly didn't believe. And seeing, you also have to realize that with COVID and everything else, like, you didn't get to see these players in Vegas and the G League. Like that shit wasn't going down. So they had to literally put on a jersey and play in the game. People were worried about
that can hoop. Like
Tyrese I love Maxey.
Yeah. Sadiq Bey. Sadiq Bey is the nuts.
Sadiq Bey is lit.
Wait until Sadiq Bey plays with the Cunningham kid, bro. The Pistons are going to be able to play basketball.
Well, listen. Well,
they got the first overall pick yesterday, too.
You want to talk about?
It takes guys to develop.
100%.
So young.
You want to talk about
Payne.
post-era LeBron because that's what it's all about. Because we only know the league as LeBron James right now.
Correct.
It's going to be post-era. So you're getting a taste right now in the NBA playoffs of post-era LeBron. LeBron is not there, okay? It's a huge thing. We've seen LeBron in the playoffs go to the championship, what?
Every year.
9 out of like 11 years.
And if not the regular finals, the Eastern Conference.
Post-era LeBron's coming. It's Booker. It's Spider.
Trae Young.
Mitchell. It's
Luka.
all Trae Young. Luka. It's all
It
this
gives me the
talent.
goosebumps to think about it because
Booker looks really
The
good.
league has gone
Booker's
international.
National.
It's Luka and Greek Freak. They're taking over the throne as the ambassadors to the NBA.
For sure.
Dude. We
For
see
sure.
that. I've seen that all in the past year and a half in cards, dude. Dude, I got actually going back to when I got started. I was buying Luka Doncic cards. PSA 10. I have the pictures still.
The base cards?
Yeah. No. PSA 10s for $180. Then I was buying again at
the base, The base PSA 10.
Yeah. And then 300. And I flipped at 7 and then I bought again and flipped. I flipped those cards twice. If I would have ever known that it was going to do the run-up, it would have...
It went to 2K.
Who would have ever known that?
When I went with Sniper to my first ever card show, remember Houston TriStar?
That
I was
gave me a
buying them
taste
at
for the money,
160.
though. That gave me a taste for
LJK cards sold them to me at 160. I was like, can you do 150?
Giannis Prism PSA 10 and TriStar when we went were $900.
How much?
$900. They went to 6,000. You know how much LeBron Topps Chromes were at that time?
Bazillion.
PSA 10?
No.
$2,500. You could have bought as
and
many
at its peak,
as you...
Jordans were cheap, too.
42,000.
Can you imagine 2018
Mikey
National?
and I could have bought 10 of those.
Yeah.
Listen, I heard stories
I've passed up on so many things.
We bought
We're going to get into that.
stuff.
2 years ago,
At that
raw
show, it
Jordans
was
were
crazy.
everywhere. I talked to the guys at shows. They said raw Jordans were everywhere.
Crazy.
I think
1986?
money, if you invest now, you can't go wrong investing into like all the greatest players of the Yankees.
Yeah, the GOATs.
The GOATs of the Yankees,
GOATs.
Babe Ruth, all these rookie cards. I see them out there right now. If you have big money, I don't think you can go wrong because you could buy those raw cards and SGCs to play for them. People like SGC graded.
Yeah, that
I've been seeing plays in that area right now.
SGC just sold for bread.
Yeah.
I've been seeing that. I've been looking at stuff like that.
What I really like too is like everyone's always asking the state of the hobby. Why are cards going down? You also have to look at sports because a lot of people like correlate cards just to the value and the comps, but sports cards are relevant in every facet that people don't even count, right? Like their statistics, their chemistry off the field. It's not just about like what a card is, also the sets, post comps. People are like, oh, I can't find a comp. What happens if you don't find a comp of the card that you want? You look at comparables from other people from other classes.
Correct.
You know, there's so much that goes into the research of the actual cards because this is supply and demand. This is a new industry. This is an old industry that's completely reinvented itself.
Yes,
So obviously,
it's standing on new
When
pillars.
Jimmy and I
New
used to-
pillars hold this industry up.
Sniper's
today.
my uncle. When I was a kid, he used to take me to the store, and we used to look at Beckett's, and that's how you
Yeah,
found
so-
what a card's
Without a
worth.
doubt. And dude, I
now
remember-
it travels like this
Dude,
every second. The card's up and down.
And
You don't
it's
know.
My buying back then was when it was the split rookie year. It was Jason Kidd and
Grand Hill.
Grand Hill. When they split, that's when me and my brother were heavy in collecting. And there was a store in our city where we grew up in Middlesex. It was there for at least 30, 35 years. Dude.
This is 26 years ago
An
you're
old
talking
cop
about.
owned it. And then another gentleman owned it. And he owned it for a good while time until this guy Nico from Bound Brook bought it. But at the long run, dude, that store group was in the city that I grew up in forever, dude. Everybody went to the car
That was the
shop.
LCS?
Dude, we wore starter coats back in the day. We used to take the little you know, the little things that you
remember
squeeze
going
in
to
like that go
Pullwax,
down
yeah,
the coat.
it's a bike
We used to
starter.
take the strings of the coat and
That's
go,
it.
if you had the Bulls coat, it would go red, black, white, red, black, or red.
Got you.
You do the colors and everything. We all had starter pouches. We all went and bought cards. We all tried to get, you know, like we even went.
What were you ripping? Topps Chrome, Bowman's
Back
Best,
then,
Finest.
dude,
Finest.
my first box.
I remember
was
you
a
looking for
Skybox
SPX.
Series
SPX.
2.
I remember you.
Which was one card
I
per
literally
pack.
remember
SP.
you
Topps.
searching
We ripped
for
Mad Finest, me
Tim
and my
Duncan
brother,
rookies,
Skybox.
like
Yeah,
1997.
Topps Chrome.
I don't know how I remember that, but
It
I
was
must have
Topps
been
Chrome.
5 or 6 years old.
Hey,
I graded
you want to
when I
know
got
what we
PSA
ripped a
too.
lot of? Leaf baseball.
There was a lot of leaf.
Back in the day, we ripped mad leaf baseball.
Leaf baseball is so
Yes.
undervalued.
I remember it, but
But
Leaf,
it's
I feel like is trying to
You have to-
reinvent
and then
it's
itself.
like,
Like they're
yeah,
trying to
yeah,
do
yeah.
some.
You have to understand,
They're trying to do.
hits, you can hit, but it's like you look on eBay, it's like damn.
you guys
what,
ever watch
50
that
bucks?
show on Reddit or whatever it is, one of the on Netflix? It's about the baseball cards. The guy's dad from Canada
I never
who
saw
owned
it.
multiple stores. I gotta think of the
Yeah,
name.
we'll definitely we'll name drop it for sure. I mean, I would like to
We
see
should look
it.
it up real quick. The store. You should see if you can find that.
Michael
real
will
quick.
do it.
Anyway, that store right there. They said back in the day.
Shout
that,
out to Melgan. by
Yes,
the way.
sir. The best
the best.
host, best
They said
producer.
there was like 9,000 sports cards back in the North America. There it is, Jack of all trades.
Jack.
They
I
said
thought
there
that
was
you were calling yourself a
9,000
Jack of all
sports
trades.
cards.
Jack of
Bro,
all trades 2018. Check it out.
I don't even think there's 1,000 sports cards in the United States right now. So is the market like? I still think that we're not even close.
No, the boom
to
hasn't
what,
started
Well,
yet.
I wanted to say something like what you were discussing. So a segue to that is that when we were collecting, going back to when we were all buying packs and whatnot, there weren't even cell phones. Think about
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
They were like the brick Motorola phone came back
I
and
had a
people were
beeper.
like, holy shit. We had beepers.
He had a beeper.
I had a beeper.
We had beepers. We were going
Cyber's
to
beeper
payphones.
used to go
during this
in.
time of the whole junk era of mass producing cards. Today, we have social media. Cards are so much more relevant. They were relevant back then, but I think this whole thing about the card market today is that it's going to boom, meaning prices are going to go up a lot faster because of content, social media,
Speculation.
Fast.
speculation,
Everything
right?
files too
Yeah,
fast.
also-
It wasn't
everything's
organic.
fast.
But also,
It wasn't
just like
organic.
it goes up, it's going to go down a lot faster.
Of
as
course.
well. But because of all the content out there and the fact that there's so much more information and it's so much easier to comp cards opposed to us using Beckett
For sure.
to figure out pricing.
sure.
So
I
there's-
think all
there's
these
a-
things are positives for where the market is going.
Where
Well,
it
that
will
creates-
end
so
up.
you have
that-
to educate
Yeah.
yourself
So
and look
that
for
creates an
those opportunities.
ecosystem.
You know?
The sports cards is creating.
I
a
mean,
big
we're creating
ecosystem.
our own ecosystem
Yeah, we have
for what we're
breakers.
doing.
We have sports card stores. We have distribution. We have ways.
There's
look
not
at the
that
way
much
they're
stuff
dropping
out
product
there, dude.
now.
Like,
Yeah.
I really compare sneakers
Talked about
to
that
this a
yesterday.
lot
course.
because I
Direct
was really in
correlation.
sneakers for a very long time
with
and I
me.
learned in and outs of the sneaker business. And I see so much more attractive stuff. Like, it's so much more
How funny
attractive.
is that I owned a store when I was 23 years old.
2 peas in a
That's
pod.
crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
But
And
like
this
what
guy
I
owned
see,
this.
what
That's
I
crazy,
see
right?
really in this is so much more opportunity, obviously. But dude, in sneakers, like it developed. There was StockX. There was multiple avenues. There was so many. No, but it's not developed at all yet.
So it's the Wild Wild West, right?
It's the Wild West.
You look at it like this, right?
There's no influencers and businesses and market. They're all coming.
That's the space we're in right now.
They're all trying to invade, but who's the top dog?
Nobody is.
Who's
and this
the guy?
is what I said. 2021 would be the year that you're going to start to see players, which we're starting to see now. They want to get involved in the hobby because they see it's in the limelight, because it's everywhere. It's on every news broadcast, on every social media.
AJ Dillon,
wherever you go.
Javid Best,
all these guys.
Matthew Dellavedova,
I have Dillon rip with me.
KD.
I have both Dillon brothers. They rip with me. I have a gentleman that owns Paradigm Sports. Multiple people I've met in the hobby. They are involved in sports in some way, some shape and form. They've been getting involved this year. They've reached out to us. Connections have been made. It's been amazing. It's been a blessing,
for
right?
sure.
But you're going to see more and more that happen in 2021. I think eventually what happens is you're going to eventually see like sponsorships eventually come for breakers.
You're seeing it. Panini's advertising at the basketball game.
Yeah.
Grand Hill's ripping packs on TV.
But we're going to see a brand somebody eventually. Because I know right now there's already people in works of, creating documentaries. And
for sure. Shout out to One of One.
All that. Yep.
You know who's crushing it, who I really, really like in this hobby, who's moving mountains from Boston? Gus.
Big Night Breaks,
bro,
Chris.
I love Chris.
Shout out Chris Costa.
Big Night Breaks, bro.
Big shout out.
I already told him I'm going to Boston. I think it's July 16th to 18th. We gotta go. Like he's tapped in. He's moving mountains, bro.
The network.
Well, he works with Live Nation or something. No.
Big Night Breaks. Yeah, they do live entertainment. They have huge.
He's tapped in. Like he's the guy, dude.
Go
follow him.
Yeah, we're gonna see all that.
Restaurants.
We're going. We're in.
Like look at it. Look at even now. Look at when you see people's boots now. You went from people just bringing their stuff to having a t-shirt and a hoodie, a hat, to like just full out branding. Now guys are making tents. Guys are like, it's like, yo, but that's the world we live in. The age we live in today, 2021. Get it as you can, dude.
Underwear,
brand. Hell yeah, let's make it, baby.
Give me a Christmas
Brand. Engagement. So let's talk about that for a minute.
Yeah.
Dude, engagement.
Interactive.
Engagement is everything, right? Everything.
Can you elaborate on engagement? Chris, I wanted, or Mark, one of you guys, how can you get engagement?
Not even just engagement, bro.
No, but how do you get it?
I'll tell you. Okay, so.
Like, 1 second, posting a picture, it's more than just posting a picture of a card or your hit. Like, you have to interact with all of your followers.
How?
Not even all of your followers. Put a face to your brand. And if you don't have a face to your brand and you're just the hands, well then I don't know. It's kind of weird. Like you're not.
You just don't have. You're selling yourself short.
For sure. Even when it comes to hopping in people's lives, just recording your thoughts, opinions about sports cards in general, or even when it comes to selling your merchandise, show your face. Like,
I think that's why we all do.
That's why just because you have a page, like that's not how it is. Like, you have to work.
You don't have to make money every time too. Like you went out to the Moon Collectibles, you don't make money.
For sure. To the Moon Collectibles was lit.
No, but it's good. But that's dope. What you guys all did, like that's that's how you involve and that's how you grow. You touch content engagement.
More
than just
content
cards.
out and interact with the people.
But define that. Define
it. Like respond. You know,
for the people out there, they want to know exactly.
DMs, they don't respond. Respond to your DMs.
Okay.
All right, so
be able to reach your audience, and also if someone even sends you maybe a stupid message or something, or a hater sends you something, respond to it.
Yeah.
You know,
don't hide behind
it, or you're too busy to respond. Respond to everybody. Interaction.
I think that's one thing that's important is not to hide from it and step to it. Like if people have controversy, explain that. Like obviously if it gets ridiculous.
Everybody's sitting here maybe upset for Prestige because he's perfect. Pause.
He's also new. He's new,
but we've all
He's gonna go through it. He's gonna go through it.
I have it already. There's Prestige Pullers. There's Prestige my dad.
No, but like
we all have had
controversy.
situations in the hobby where the hobby went either against us or tried to make something out to be that it wasn't, or tried to be like talk negatively about you or your brand. And at the end of the day, how I've always not hid from the camera. I'm not scared to get out there and say, hey, this is what happened. And if I made a mistake, I think the biggest thing you can do in your life is acknowledge it. Don't be that guy to be like, oh no, I'm always right. Because people are not going to receive it.
I say I'm wrong every day, at least once a day.
Mistakes. Nobody in this
I hate to say that I'm wrong.
That we shouldn't have.
We're gonna get into that for sure.
All kinds of stuff.
I had like crazy when I only had like 400 or 500 followers. I had somebody else try and do a page like that used to buy off me or whatever. And realistically, they were like talking about it on their story, but wouldn't tag me. Then started to tag me when it came to comps and stuff. They said my stuff was overpriced just because they weren't making any money. They weren't attracting anybody. There was no.
Sometimes people do that. What they do is instead of pumping up their own stuff, they try to take away from somebody else.
So what I did, and people who've watched me consistently for for either all 7 months, but at least the past 5 months now, I made him Little Cuz, because everyone knows I say Cuz. So
and shout out to being one of the 100 people in the live today.
Yeah, he became Little Cuz, and now anytime someone comes in my live and like talks,
they're looking for Little Cuz.
All the people all my supporters or viewers.
Yeah, shout out to Little Cuz.
And they just be like Little Cuz in the chat. So now it's just like you're just a Little Cuz, you know. That's
all right, Chris, I want you to hit with your last point because I know you wanted to say something, and then we'll go into the mistakes.
Engagement.
Yeah, just engagement. How can you interact?
So for me, it was like. So for me, it was like this. Like in the beginning, let's go back. We're going back a year now.
Gotta go back.
When we go back then, there wasn't too many people that were willing to get on there, show their face,
for sure,
do any type of thing in their story, engage with their followers, and then just, it's not about getting wild and crazy with it though. It's about being able to have a piece of content and drive a narrative. So, like,
if you are who you say you are, then just be that.
Yeah. So in the beginning, I was driving a narrative, and my narrative was to get people to come to me, and I knew that there was a few points I had to hit. I had to win people over, and I had to be able to allow them to stay in my room. So there's things I had to do. I had to create a show. With inside my show, I told you, the Stuart Scott, the Booyah, where that entertainment came from, that was my persona. That's what I was trying to build. So you made engagement throughout your stories, throughout your posts. Throughout your lives, but you had to get creative. Before you get a swipe up or anything, before you get to do the swipe up stuff.
It takes 10,000 followers in order to get a swipe up. So if you guys want to do swipe ups for your website or whatever it is, 10,000 followers.
So
organically.
I would run ads.
Organically.
We'll be there soon. Please follow.
Go ahead, give them a follow. 10K all
Run it
day.
up, baby.
Hey, little shout out to Whatnot again real quick.
Yeah, definitely shout out to Whatnot. Whatnot is a great application.
Hey,
we're going to talk about
get buyers on
Chris, I had, I was ripping, like we were talking about how I started, but then we fell off of it. I had 200 followers. So I was ripping on Bullpen. I was ripping with Mikey.
You got known in those rooms.
I was ripping like a prostitute.
What was your name? James Manis.
It was my name, James Manis.
Yeah,
Jimmy Manis was my page.
Yeah.
And then from there I had 200 followers. And Mikey and I were sitting, and he was like, you need to create a card page. Like, what are you doing? Yeah. And then, like, I always used to go snipe deals, and everybody would yell at me because they would get pissed.
I'm getting my credit
when I would buy a card for like $300. So Mikey's like, bro, you're SniperManis.
You're SniperManis. That's SniperManis. That's the story. That's the clip right there, too. That's the clip. Michael, that's the clip.
So that's one thing that when you're...
Hey, that's the best thing on Whatnot.
That's the clip.
Hey, when you're building your brand, everybody out there,
yes.
Name is... Because when I was going to do my name, I was going to do Manis Card Collectibles.
Let's talk about that.
What the fuck is Manis Card Collectibles?
You got to make...
I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So you know how like you have to have... Well, real quick. You know how you have to have a mantra, Sniperman, the whole thing? Everybody has to set themselves apart. Everybody knows me as shut it down.
I know what's up, fellas.
It down.
Shut it down.
What's up, fellas? All that.
What's up, fellas is amazing. I couldn't stop saying it.
Because I can.
Bangers. So you people get to know that and people like that, right? It sets yourself apart.
For sure.
You have to build engagement with inside your show, with inside your post, with inside your stories, with inside your
Look at Zach. He was becoming a chef. I've never heard barbecue sauce on the packs. Like
that's what
that's his vibe.
Mamba cards. What do they do? The
corn nuts?
The corn nuts and stuff. Everybody has a little twang, little sauce.
100%.
You have to have that.
Bang, bang, skeet, skeet. That's
and now other breakers have seen that and they've mimicked that. And let's talk about that. Any good breaker in the game.
Shout out to Ali for bang, bang, skeet,
what another breaker's doing.
Absolutely. Hard Fiend.
Look at Whatnot.
Yeah.
We hopped on there. Everybody knows what happened. Dude, there was only like 2 big breakers on there. I got on there, dude. I didn't even know what to do. Let's be straight up. I had no idea what to do.
Straight up.
I thought I was gonna only break wax, and I was like, Moff cards. It's not gonna work. Why?
Shout out to Moff
There's no
cards,
wax, bro.
Shout out to Bender.
No wax.
The whole gang.
And the team, because
Yeah.
In every company, there needs to be a team to make it run.
Without a
and
doubt.
what you guys don't understand about Whatnot is the behind the scenes of what's going
they're
on.
big.
Scheduling your shows.
They work with us.
Making sure that people are scheduled at different
Optimizing
times.
your channel.
Optimizing your channels, your
platform
viewership.
built for
everything.
breakers, made
they're
by
on it.
breakers, distributed by breakers, is breakers.
Yeah,
We are
it's a
it.
breaker
And Moff
platform.
and Binder are crushing it, and they're always there. Like if you need them, if my live pauses and I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
"Yo, I'm frozen,"
Yeah.
they're like,
Yeah.
So-
that
so
happened to me in the
Instagram your
Well, let's
beat.
talk about that real quick.
Instagram your beat though. Honestly,
Yeah.
like that's in all reality. Like we are just like we're this big on Instagram to Instagram's eyes. You know what I'm saying? And on Whatnot, like this is
They're focused on us.
Is
You
a
know what I'm
game
saying?
is a game changer.
I had no idea what to do. I had no idea.
I know, I know.
bro.
We're laughing because
because nobody was doing what was being taking place right now and whatnot. And what happened was he told me that some people were doing it, and at one point in time they just weren't converting. So what happened was the first night that I got to it, instantaneously the auction button took off to me like, I got $5 right here, $10 right here, I got 15 right here, 20 right here. What do you got over there? What do you get? And that's what it felt like to me. I started doing that in the live. The live was going crazy. There was 200 plus people in the live. Everybody was going bonkers. Breakers that were on the app like, what is this guy? Who is this? What is going on?
Like on some real
Dude, it was
live
like,
auction
It was
shit.
like Whatnot on steroids.
Yeah.
Like that thing was.
You didn't even
I-
know. You just got thrown in the fire and was like, "Oh shit!" Like
and it
I'm
was
here.
work.
I got crushed
Of
my
course.
first
It
night on
converted.
My first night on
I got crushed too. When
was
I did
fine.
my
2 weeks ago.
debut, I got crushed.
So hold
I did
on.
good.
Like on a big scale.
I did my slab auctions, and I was like,
Except
didn't know what I was
except
doing.
the
But I'm
only
talking
I
about
ran a
it
Luca PSA 10, and it sold for like $875.
But it
the comp at that
converted.
time was $1,300.
All right, but the thing
I
is,
was like, what's
I
going
looked at
on?
it from a business standpoint. The whole thing converted.
Of
dude.
course.
Yeah.
Sometimes you
You
have
gotta
to
lose
get
to
on
win.
life
I only had
without a
20
You
doubt.
gotta lose to
I've
win.
been
You
saying that from
gotta
day one.
lose to win. I've
You
done.
have to.
Remember back in the day before I started really distributing, and you were like, "Why am I selling these cases for 100,000? I'm making zero. What the?"
To build
You know?
yourself, you build.
No,
you
but
build,
you have to. You
build
gotta
the
lose to win.
network. You
I
build
tell
the
him every
network.
day.
Bro, always. I
You
swear.
gotta lose to
In
win.
order to win
The
in
first-
life,
I'll
you
be
have
honest.
to. In order to succeed in life, you have to fail. There's
Correct.
nobody
For
in
sure.
life.
100%.
If you go look at anybody, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett. I mean, I'm talking about billionaire money, right? The most intelligent people in the world. They have all had failures to get them to
100%.
that point.
Yeah.
Their kids might never
if you
have
haven't
to, but
failed
they
in your
fail.
life,
Successful.
and you're on top of the world, then something ain't right.
Yeah,
I feel
It
plenty.
just-
I've lost on plenty retail because I was
Exactly.
buying retail
'Cause
in
you're gonna
bulk.
learn,
Like
you
I was
know?
buying retail in bulk. Like they came out. All right, my guy Mike, I'd be like, I need 50 blasters. Like I don't
Yeah.
care what
You
the
know
price
how-
was. I need 50 blasters.
You know,
Like,
because
early
you
in the
need
show,
it
I said-
sometimes.
yeah, for
dude.
sure. It doesn't matter. Like, I
Getting
have to
product
have
is
it.
really hard. Like,
Getting product is.
can we talk about that really quick before we connected? Can you talk about how hard it was to run your break page and why? And I think it's because of product. I think everything else is the same. I think it was the
everything
product.
is the
that
same.
you-
It was
I
easy
always
when
tell
he was
my-
going to Target and
I
stocking up.
wasn't even buying. I would drive an hour to Wildwood like in the wintertime to get, because I knew on Thursdays at 2:30 I would be one of the only two people there and I'd be able to get 10 blasters, but then I would have to hit up another guy who was getting blasters or going to Target and just constantly getting retail. And to get hobby boxes, like I have one guy 50 minutes from my house where I would only really be able to get 1 to 2, and then I have to take a 2-hour drive to get
It just takes
another 3
all
to
that
5,
time you
'cause
could
I
have
didn't
been
have
selling and
I
shipping.
didn't have the money to buy a full
Or the
case at
connection,
the
like
time,
you
or
were- the
I'm
connection, really.
yeah, but then it's turned into where I was spending 1,000 a week to where another month and I was spending 10,000 a week, and then I was like, wait, I have 30,000 on my desk. Like, what is going on? But I consistently grew and grew and grew, and every dollar I made, I just put back into
Have
Prestige
to.
Pulls. Like that's just what I did. Every dollar I made, I was
think
like,
we
all right, I
all
can get
did this.
5 more boxes. Like I can get 5 more boxes, even if my margins were I only made $80 a
for
box.
the
I
people.
knew I was making.
You got to
it
compete
was
too.
all
Now
good.
there's
People
competition.
don't realize
Big
how hard that
competition.
is. Like,
Yeah.
I went to Target when like Prism came out. I bought a bunch of boxes. I did a break on Instagram.
I
I did
remember-
that shit one time. I picked up like 20, 30 blasters.
started-
I never did that shit
So
again.
I started on my
I made
personal
money.
page.
Yeah.
I
But it
remember
was just
too
like
much.
sorting, sleeving. I mean, shout out to you guys because doing that, like
Oh,
people
man.
think it's easy.
And it's
I have
so
no
but it's
idea.
not
I think
easy.
it's
to have
Listen,
all the-
breaking
it's really
is not
easy.
easy.
It's not.
Not
This shit is
easy.
hard.
Especially
man.
without
Shout
the
out
other
to you
day.
guys.
Long
That's why
hours,
I do
late
slab
nights.
auctions.
You
It's
gotta,
easy.
but to win at this, you gotta be able to do all the things that the other person doesn't want to do.
For sure.
That's what sets
That's
yourself
why
apart.
there's haters though, because they don't
Yeah.
want to work as
Yeah,
hard.
but you know
bro.
what?
They're just
Yeah.
never. They're
But haters
jealous
come
of-
with the game.
For sure, no, I
LeBron
love,
At the
I
end of
love
the
it.
day,
Bro, I
I've
love
gotten
them.
myself caught up with
love
that a
them.
few times, and dude, you know what, dude? at the end of the day,
Well,
man,
you're old school,
I always
right?
have to be told.
You don't like when another
But
man clowns
dude,
on you. You want to teach him a lesson, right?
Everybody knows toilet
But you
bowl,
don't have
flush,
you don't-
right to the toilet bowl in my room. You know that.
You don't have enough.
people
Elaborate
come-
on that, right? Because like I know, I'm sure a couple times you were like, "Let's go, let's drive hands," and then you're like, "Wait, I gotta go make money. I don't have time to drive
So
hands."
you got to
with
establish yourself
like-
and
like,
say,
it
dude, you're a real
happens.
brand. This is what happens, though, is
say
that
thank you for
we're in 2021. All right, it's on Instagram. Instagram is an organic built platform. Everybody gets out of context. We live in a world of second chances. If you make mistakes, you do things wrong. We've all seen it in the hobby. People take it as what it is, and people stay with the brand or don't. But at the end of the day, you have to treat it somewhat. So there's been times where I've been out of line. But as you grow, you learn to say, okay, man, you gotta resort back from being that way. You have to be a certain way.
You run a business.
Because you're a band, you run a business. So we're all growing in this because this is still the wild, wild west. This is all, we still don't know where this is going to go. This could end up being where breaking stays around for a very long time. But, dude, breaking's been around for 10 years now.
Correct.
There's
been
been
longer
Shout out
than
to
that.
Larry
breaking
Franco.
all that.
Live Case Breaks was one of the first people to ever start live breaks. He's helped me a ton.
That's
him and his
awesome.
son
Shout out
Cam.
to him. I don't
Him and
know
his
who that is.
son.
That's awesome.
Him and his son Cam Franco.
Oh, yeah,
You know
I know.
Cam.
Yeah,
you know
awesome.
Cam's
Yeah,
cards.
yeah.
So they were one.
Awesome.
His father is an attorney, but he was
Just
one of the
met them
first
recently.
people.
Shout out,
big
One of the
time.
first
Yeah.
people, and he pitched eBay and Panini and National 2011
Yeah.
to say,
Got
"Hey,
them awesome.
this is the future of cards." You know what they said?
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
crazy.
And then they came
look
back
who was right.
and said, "Oh, Larry,
Mikey,
you're right.
They told
Sorry."
they told me that when I was 23 years old in my town when I was doing sneakers. They all thought I was crazy for having $500 and $1,000 sneakers in New Jersey. In a small town, Denellen, New Jersey, 15 minutes outside Rutgers University, 20 minutes. People thought I was nuts. But in the meantime, that ended up being a huge market.
Biggest.
People think I'm nuts now that I'm around for this sports card.
I have a lot of
Watch
stories
this
of that.
sports cards
Yeah.
be a huge market again.
You already,
Watch.
you've already,
already is.
you've already
It already
proved
is.
the concept.
Early
No,
right
no, no.
now.
You've already proven the
It's early.
concept. Now it's where
So,
are
but
we
the
going to end
concept, there's
up?
business. Excuse me for a minute. Guys, I think a lot of people start off breaking and not realizing that, oh shit, the money starts flowing. But then, dude, there's an actual business model behind this.
Correct.
Sure.
There are business models people have built because I have built one out. And it took me a whiteboard to do it. Shout out to whiteboards, yo.
Whiteboards are huge.
Whiteboard
I got
has
like
changed.
4.
Yeah, dude, they've changed my life.
started my-
yeah,
actually,
I got
whiteboards
one
where it's all
here,
about.
one right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, you know what's
It allows
crazy?
you to
My
contain
back,
information, data, and see it again, baby.
my first ever background of Prestige Pulls was a fucking whiteboard.
Prestige
Yeah.
Pulls used to
Dude,
rip
yeah.
standing up.
Yeah,
Did
and I
you?
ripped standing
Oh,
up
man,
because
I've
I was
done
in
that
I was in like an
before.
8 by dude.
Standing
I started
up.
on the smallest
7
desk.
corn?
Wait, no, in my mother's home office, in the corner of my mom's home office, and then it became like
Why not a
holy.
stool, though?
Wait, I
Just
was like,
standing?
holy shit! The
Standing,
whole
brother.
floor was filled with cards, post-it notes, names. Dude, I used to literally no cap. Like,
Is that where this came from?
yeah, that's why.
The,
like, I
the
remember
right,
this. I
the
literally would
sideways.
just stand.
Yo, you
and
know
then-
Philly started doing that.
Feel me?
Philly
I had
ripped.
the camera
Or-
like
or you-
this, bro. I had the camera sideways. The
I
camera
got it.
wasn't
So
behind
he's
me.
done everything.
It's
I
kind of
was
like
here.
a shot. Like when you shoot so much, it's like you shoot like.
Not like Ben Simmons
The
and I-
Cahoon pull. What is it? This
That-
way? or
yeah,
this
that way, up top.
Yeah, the Cahoon pull.
Yeah.
No, this way.
Shout out Cahoon.
Yeah, where's Cahoon right now? Shades on, baby.
So now,
making cones.
now I want to talk about our failures because I feel that we've talked a lot, and I feel like we've been very informative to the people on just the come up, how you get into the hobby, the ups and downs, and how to deal with stuff and whatnot. And we have to talk about failures. Sniper, talk about some of your failures, whether it was investments or something you said wrong or whatever it may be. Talk about
there's
that.
too many.
All right, so
There's too many.
talk about one of the
But
instances.
I'll
What
say-
did you buy wrong?
But I'll say on card failures.
Yes. Or boxes, whatever
When
it
like
is.
first like getting back into cards and trying to figure things out. Like I was looking at Zion's and I was like, oh, I want a Zion autograph. And I went and purchased a Zion certified auto for like $500 and then realized that's not the correct auto to be buying. It was cool, but it was a sticker. It wasn't on card. And
What
these
brand
are
was it?
Certified.
Oh, Panini certified.
Yeah.
Got it. I thought you said that it was graded, only certified auto, no
it was
grade.
Panini certified, a patch with a sticker,
Gotcha.
Zion. It was like it. To this day, it's still like a $600 card.
Got you.
So at that same time, if I knew what I was doing and I purchased an NT or a flawless, I could have made a lot of money because that card did nothing, and
Yeah.
these other cards appreciated.
So you got to know what
So you
brands to
learn.
buy.
I also bought a Ja Morant collegiate auto, which was on card for like $400. I thought I was a genius, and then that card stayed at $400
because it's
forever.
collegiate,
'Cause it's
obviously.
collegiate.
So you guys got to know to buy
gotta
the
know
big
what-
brands:
right.
Prism, NT, Flawless, Select, NBA, no collegiate, NFL, no collegiate.
Yeah, of
Chris,
course.
what are some of your?
So, like, some
give me a
card-
story of
oh,
one thing,
oh,
a box or a.
Card failures. Well, yeah, there's been a few times where
Just give me one.
I've dumped something too early. 2014
sure, bro.
World Cup soccer. I should still be holding some boxes. I don't hold anymore.
Got you.
I bought a few for 1,000. They're like
remember that.
6,500 a box. It was one of my big plays. But like one of the talk about failures. So one of the failures is like, like I've made mistakes by some of the people I've done business with or tagged myself to or represented, and then people have come back to me. So I don't know if it's a failure or whatnot, but watching who you do stuff with, but seeing this hobby, it's like new. You want to venture out. You want to do things with people.
For sure, you want to grow the hobby.
And
I've
had some
helped a
mistakes with
lot of people
dude,
that have completely. I've done all good by them and grew their business and
people are
got
gone
nothing
now.
in
These people are
return.
gone.
And people are just they just hate you no matter what you do. But at the end of the day, for me, I don't regret any of that.
No,
Because guess
neither
what
do
I
I.
did? I grew the
I
hobby.
stayed in my lane. I
grew
just
the
kept
hobby.
building.
At the
Listen,
end of the
I've
day,
had it
I know
happen
when
to
I
me,
went to
yeah.
sleep, I know that I got another break page to break cards, and I got more people to get into the hobby.
I've helped
I don't
so
care
many,
about
yeah.
the money that they make. I don't need to spell stuff out for people. Like
Nah.
if you don't understand how to show homage, then you just
we
do your
all
thing.
have the people that we know that we've helped and they in reciprocation are grateful.
But
and
you grew the
thankful.
hobby, so there's no failure in
I'm
that.
grateful for where I am today. I'm grateful for the followers I have. I'm grateful for the position I am to be where I am as one of the top breakers in sports cards.
sure.
Growing through Instagram organically.
Doesn't matter
on
where you're
whatnot
breaking.
now.
Doesn't matter where you're breaking.
Yeah, people look at me and I have young kids that look up to me at the hobby. I love to give back to young kids.
100%.
I've
love
grown,
I think we all do that.
of course.
Every
all do
card
that.
show, I try to give something.
We
to
all
Every
do
sports
that.
card show I buy something.
every time.
I
I
see
buy
a-
something
Me
every
too.
kid.
I
always
see
do.
a lot of us that
We were all working. They always whack.
Give me-
us.
Yeah, I can say
I
that.
almost bought something from someone at the store today.
60 for any roll card. I'll
I
just
can
give you
say
60.
that about
Here
everybody
goes
that I've
60.
met through Instagram. They're all good guys.
And then when
I've
you
seen
meet
do
them in
stuff
person,
like
they're
that.
super nice.
Yeah.
Listen, I think one thing in life what you have to do, like the way I've been raised, is you always try to give to people.
And morals and
But
values.
that
Yeah.
being said, and help. But then when it comes to the point that those people that you're giving and helping are the ones that are stabbing you in the back, talking shit about you, trying to bring your brand down or the movement that you are trying to accomplish, that's when you know that.
Don't bite the hand that feeds
You know what I'm
though.
saying?
That's
It's a
when
wrap.
there's no
And
more
a
food
lot
on the
of people
table.
that I respected in the hobby that I loved a lot, that I really thought we had great friendships, and
It's
then
sad.
realize what their true colors are. And as what I love about the hobby is the relationships that are built, but the other
sure.
side of the hobby is it's
That's in
cutthroat.
there. I think
it's
it's in
cutthroat
everything.
with
For sure.
some-
It's
The hobby's like
Sneak-
politics. You
Sneakers
kinda
was
like-
the
you
same
have like
thing.
this
It's
slimy-
cutthroat.
you know.
and you
Sneakers,
have
I've
to
helped
be
so many
cautious
people, and they
with,
fuck
you know, the
Sneak Peek.
friendships
Like,
you make
fuck
and the
Sneak
people
Peek.
you trust
What are you
and the
talking about?
circle that you build, because at the end of the day, we are growing our brands and want to be successful. And in order to do so, you want to have a good team around you and people that are there for you, not people that
Oh, dude,
are
I'm,
just yes
I'm
people.
struggling with finding good people. I
For
think
sure.
we're always going to struggle with finding.
You're always
good help.
gonna buy.
I'm
That's
struggling
the
with
biggest
finding a
struggle I've
breaker
ever
right
had
now.
to do is build a team. But guys, if you're watching this, Rip and Wax is trying to find what?
A good breaker. Damn, I need a breaker who wants to pack it in and make some like
So
real
what,
money. And,
what are
like,
the
it-
requirements?
So
Where do
listen,
they have to be located?
in either South Florida, New Jersey, and
I love how you wanna
basically just
come
be
to
able
South Florida. I
Just be able
love
to put
it.
the
Yo,
time
are we
in.
making the Whatnot
Welcome
house?
to Miami.
Whatnot doesn't even know about the Whatnot house.
Make a whatnot
They don't
house.
even
It's
know
easy.
about
They
it.
should.
They don't
Whatnot
even-
house
You know what
would be
everybody wants to know? We
crazy.
should talk about real quick. Everybody asks me, what does it take to be a breaker today? I think some of the things it takes to be a breaker is everybody sees the glitz and glam. Everybody can make the mats, do all that real quick.
Everybody
But it's you have to build followers, right? So right now it's the hardest time to step in, right?
For
Because
sure.
if you don't have followers, you can't just get on there opening.
Because everyone's
stuff.
like, oh, you draw my break.
So
Like,
how do
And
you?
that's not how you, I'm sorry to cut you off. That's just not how you do it. Like, that's just to DM everyone.
No, yeah, you don't come in other people's rooms.
It's
You
corny.
respect- You
It's
ask
corny.
the
Not
other
how
breaker
you do
first.
it.
It's
You
corny.
should say, hey, do you
Sure.
mind if I come in the feed and say, hey, I'm a new break guy? You always ask the breaker first.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's how you
There's
go.
like a
My
unwritten
biggest
rule.
thing of
some
building
etiquette.
is to spend money with other breakers.
You gotta
So
support.
you have to
I
make
feel
a
like
name.
you don't go and send an email or a blast and like, hey, can you jump in my break if you've never like you.
Spend a
When I was
dollar.
doing razzes or stuff on my page, I would get messages all the time. Hey, can you come in my break? And I'm like, well, can you take a spot for $30.
Actions speak louder than words.
And they're like, no, I can't. And I'm like, well, then I can't get in your break.
Actions
like,
speak louder than words.
Support. If you support, I will support. And I see a lot of you guys all the time in other people's rooms.
Everybody.
And it's also really good on a couple things. One, you don't need to if you don't have money and you're not a breaker and you want to make your name, comment, share. Now, if you want to be a breaker,
so if
you want to be a breaker, support them.
Become like a page like ESPN. If you can have time and you can make content in your computer, maybe go out there and say, hey, like some
Jem Mint did that. I love Jem Mint.
Take all the best pictures.
He's better at promoting my breaks than I am.
I know, right?
I swear to God, I'm not even kidding.
I know.
Straight up.
Sometimes he doesn't throw my hits out there, and I hit everything out there. I'm like, what's this guy doing? How come I'm not in there? But hey, shout out to Jem Mint.
Jem Mint, did you hear that?
I'm only busted. Listen, though.
Hey, show
you
Rip
become
and
like
Lex.
you.
Put some respect on Rip
I
and
think
Lex.
they're gonna.
I hear like everything
after this podcast, they will.
So hey. We have to basically is what you do is you have to create awareness. So you go on, maybe say, hey, let me look at the top 10 breakers, write them on a piece of paper, look at their hits every night, and then start posting stuff. Make content around that, and maybe you can start
That's a great idea.
Get retail and start to
get respect in the
rip,
hobby.
And then something like that. But it's very hard right now.
For sure.
It's the
but
truth.
nobody's doing
It's very
that.
hard.
I see Jem Mint doing. Who else is doing that?
That's another thing too.
Nobody, but that's a way to break
Kevin
through.
Durant.
People
Kevin
should.
Durant started a
Copying content
company
has always
with
been done,
one of
guys.
my friends. Forgot the name of their company, but like they're trying to do that, and that's cool.
Well,
and,
copying content,
and,
reciprocated content.
Yeah, and Kendrick Perkins and Luke is doing something like Hoops
what's Luke
Cards.
doing? I know Luke.
Luke, he's doing something along those lines. But
Is
like,
he?
you got to be
cool.
consistent, and you got to
With
keep
Perk and
doing
them,
it. Yeah,
those-
Perk and Luke
that's
are doing
awesome.
something.
Yeah.
So and I'm always trying to find out what the newest hustle is of the hobby and who the newest people are, because I'm not even on it so much because I have so much other things. So like, bro, DM us.
You know
like,
what
let's
we
get
do?
on the podcast.
I think we got to get a Winnebago, like a tour bus. We got to act like we're like a phase house, like we're the phase clan. We got to get a tour bus, and we're looking for
Winnebago.
Winnebago.
No,
he's not wrong.
We we'll get a tour bus like a drummer band.
We just need a Whatnot house first.
Let's not shower. Let's all grow our hair out.
Whatnot. We're looking for you to put us on tour. We're ready to travel show to show, store to store, create content, and
100%.
Store to store, show to show. That's
the move.
We're looking
to the moon.
We could do something.
Pool house.
They gotta
sponsored by
First, we
Whatnot.
got to do the Whatnot house. Then we can do everything else because we need a home base. We need a home base. So we're looking for breakers for sure in the South Florida area.
And a house.
We're looking to expand our team. What Chris is saying is 100% valid. We need young guns
Philly area
that
too.
don't have.
Listen, if you're not in college right now, you don't know what
Have
to
a
do.
girlfriend or
you're
wife.
hungry. You know social media. You know anything about e-commerce, anything
Sports
about
cards.
logistics.
Sports.
You ever worked at FedEx, UPS, any of these things where you touch surplus and you pack, shipped, and done stuff like that? Anything with computer, building out like Excel spreadsheets, all those
You don't
type of
need the
things.
most experienced for
Straight
this.
up.
Let's be honest.
Straight
If
up.
you know
And
how
let's
to
be
use
honest.
a phone and know how to work on Canva
And you're honest
you do
and don't
TikToks
steal.
all day, come aboard, baby.
That's
Straight
it.
up.
Ready
That's
to
it.
grind.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Grind
If
to the
you-
wheels
And
fall
shut
off.
it down.
You gotta
right.
basically if you want to work. Like people think this shit is.
Yo,
simple.
it's all day. I work on this business all
Like
day
work.
long, 18 hours a day from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed.
You don't sleep for 6 hours. That's bullshit.
Sometimes.
You do not sleep for 6 hours a day.
I
That
say,
is
dude, I'm
bullshit.
38
You sleep
years old.
max
Listen.
like 3 hours a day.
Listen,
Max.
it's like when
guy
you
don't sleep.
Yo, no, it's like 5 hours.
You
just
sleep with your
go,
eyes open,
dude.
be honest.
You just go.
You sleep with your eyes open?
You just go, dude.
It's easy.
Yo, you're.
I mean,
you're
I
hungry,
think that's
you're
one
hungry,
thing people
bro.
don't realize. Like,
I don't
even-
sleep
I'm
at
at
all.
a
even
different
for
point in
me,
life
like
than other
doing
people,
a
man.
small once a week with slabs and then dealing with PSA and having
But you
slabs
are
coming
involved in the
back.
hobby a lot, so don't
I am, but-
discredit yourself. Just even though
No,
you
dude,
might
you're
not.
on Whatnot now. You have literally become a spokesman slash pillar in the
Brand
community,
advocate.
brand
For sure.
ambassador,
100%.
all that to Whatnot. They recognize
you've
that.
done a
People in
lot
the
for
hobby
Whatnot.
recognize
Well, I
that.
am verified.
Yeah. Blue check mark. Shout out to
you can.
Whatnot for that. Hey, that's
Because I
huge for me.
can.
Someone like me, dude. I'm like, shit. When's next? IG verified. Like, dude, I work hard. Like, man, that's
But I'm
something
saying
I
it's a
look
lot
for. Like,
for
dude,
me.
yeah.
When I do a stream, it's a full-on 12 hours of work. Like after getting everything labeled, packaged,
Oh, that's
answering
what nobody
DMs,
sees,
getting
the
everything
behind
out.
the
Shout out.
scenes.
There's
Hey,
a lot of work.
we make the
involved
house.
in this,
Everybody
you
sees
know?
behind
What's
the scenes.
Whatnot's
everything.
You have
impact
to
on the
work.
hobby? Like, let's talk about that because from a breaker standpoint, it made shipping super easy. It
Okay,
made
so it's
getting
seamless
payments.
shipping. payments is becoming now with the way they're going to transfer now. But I think the thing that people are missing is that, okay, so you're able to preload as a breaker. We're able to preload items. Fellas, on Instagram, we have paper. On Instagram, we made breaks. It's cool, though. We've all made cool break sheets, built out snake drafts, built out all these things, right? Excel. People have gotten creative. But the big thing is that you get to preload all your items on. That's huge. You could make a story in your preview. People could be buying before time.
Yeah.
You can make your your whatnots multiple days in advance, and you can schedule ahead of time.
For sure.
Like, everything about it is based around the breaker, and they're not even done yet. They just keep implementing.
And you can list items, like if you're a breaker and you have wax, you can put your products up for sale, and people buy them. And I see a lot of people don't realize that.
Well,
what I'll tell you from a breaker standpoint, Whatnot is the best thing to ever happen. We already know that. I get a bunch of calls every day. I swear I have at least 50 people that are waiting to get approved that are calling. Right? Time out. How is it beneficial for the consumer? Because I know a bunch of reasons, and I know that's why Whatnot's the future. Forget the breaking side. The breaking side, it's incredible.
So
why do you join
are
Whatnot as a consumer? I know a bunch of reasons. I want to hear your guys' opinion.
Yeah, well, first thing is for a consumer, their PayPal information, a lot of them like that. They like that the payment now is seamless.
Nobody wants to keep sending payments.
Nobody does. They just get to click on it. It's the biggest thing for them.
My biggest buyers, they're running on tabs
their information
because they can't send payments. They're busy, dude.
Yes, and address is preloaded.
They don't want to put it in.
Everything. So their address is preloaded, their payments preloaded.
The steals, dollar auctions,
the snap of a finger.
Shit is going for lower all the time. You got to pick and choose your spots. I've bought a bunch of stuff that I can never get for that cheap.
Yeah,
and I've sold a bunch of stuff that I can never sell for that cheap.
Last night.
Yeah, game changer the auction, but we all know that. That's and
the mystery packs.
I agree.
You know the mystery what people are not realizing.
Pull that mystery pack out. What you got?
The mystery packs. It's in the car.
I'm about to grab one.
I was going.
Yeah, I got you. All good. But yeah, I mean.
But the mystery packs are nuts, and one of the biggest thing with the mystery packs is that there's floors and ceilings. So you need to make sure when you're ripping to look at the person that's offering the packs, and if they don't hit the floor, you let them know, and I'm sure they're going to make it right. And that's a big thing about the app that people do not realize. And I think it's very critical because if you go buy a pack for $150, you might get nothing. If you buy a mystery pack for $200-$300 and the floor is $200, you're guaranteed $200 worth of slabs.
For sure, and sometimes there's upside.
So and there's upside if you hit. What are you talking about?
That goes with.
I hit a $1,200 card in Mikey's pack. So
what'd you pay for it? $400.
$400.
Listen, Whatnot doesn't dictate the market. The market's going to dictate whatever.
For sure.
The consumer is dictating the market.
So right now, slabs
we're all
are
starting
heavy.
auctions at $1.
Consumer
Slabs
always
are heavy
dictates the market
because
it costs $330 to get a damn car grader right now. If you want
$700 to get it quick,
$330, like
so people want slabs already done. The problem is everybody now wants like football and stuff. Dude, there's not too much 2020 football. We just ripped graded, right?
Yeah. Just coming back.
Yeah.
There's not that much graded, so it's all gonna come. But like,
pause.
You know, we are literally in the slab era right now.
For sure.
We're going through. We've been in it probably for like a month or two now, really, really heavy. Where like every show I've been to for the past 2 months, it's all about slabs. It's continued to be about slabs. I think it will continue to be until all the floodgates are back open where slabs are easier.
For sure. Now there's a bunch of other companies too, like Black Mamba grading is starting. I'm excited to see that. CSG's blowing up. What is the other one with the colorful slabs?
SGC.
HGA.
Them blowing up too.
I saw someone send the Stars and Stripes Herbert. Like it looked really cool.
Shout out to HGA though. Between me and you, if you really look at what they did.
It's not between me and you. It's between literally every person.
Everybody on here. That's right.
It's between you and the world.
I like the vibe though. The vibe really feels that it's good. That it's like a regular combo, which is sick.
So, dude, it looks like they saw grading at the right time.
Yeah.
And they capitalized on all the things PSA and them weren't doing.
They made it look pretty.
And they fine pointed them,
and they marketed it right, and they stepped in, and dude, they hit the market at the right time because
They're making a lot of money
They
right
made
now.
a lot of money quick. We all can see that.
Yeah,
in the
there's a lot of
sports car hobby.
slabs.
Shout out to them for what they did. Though.
For
Big
sure.
props.
For sure.
But
Major
at the end of
props.
the day, PSA is the gold standard.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Of course.
Still, so
Hopefully-
is Beckett
yeah.
though.
Hopefully
BGS
they'll
is still,
back.
guys. I
I
know
mean,
people that
By the
love
way,
Uber's the
By the way,
Uber Crushes,
speaking
but Lyft
about
is doing a good
BGS,
job too.
everybody
like-
should be looking
You're right,
because
Uber
a lot
Foot
of
Locker
BGS
Crushes, but
stuff is
Champs is out there.
It's out there.
Sure.
If you go look at what a PSA
Gem
10
pluses are
sells for
beautiful,
and what a BGS Min Gem and True Gem are going for right now,
Yeah, it's
there are
flying
some
colors.
steals out there in the market.
So
People have been not purchasing BGS slabs for some reason, and a 9.5 when PSA reopens, a lot of
9.5s
times
are going to be worth good money.
a lot of times that can be a PSA 10.
Yes, without a doubt.
100%.
I know people
You've
all
crossed
day.
over a lot.
I know a guy
I've
by
cracked,
Sasha
I've-
made a living popping
I've had
off
success.
9.5s. I
Can
know
we
so many people.
Can we talk about really quick, because obviously you've done thousands of PSA subs, like you've probably done almost 100,000 cards total, and
sure.
how funny is it to it makes so much sense what PSA did, but how funny is it to see some of these pops come back, and like we saw some of these subs, like the cards that people were sending.
I mean,
It's funny.
it's funny now.
Can we talk about some
They
of your
were grading
clients?
everything.
It's-
Well, he knows. He was the one
It's
sending them
funny
in.
now because of the price. So there's cards that were sent that are now like $5-10. But that card that today maybe PSA 9, PSA 10 is $5-10 at the time was selling for 150,
200.
You know,
Every
and
10 would be over $100.
Every base card at that point that people sent 7-8 months ago, the majority of them were over $100, and people were buying those cards for $2-3.
Well, they were
And-
free because they already
Let's be
paid
real.
for the
Or
break.
free,
They already
and then-
paid for the
and
break.
then they were paying 20,
30 bucks.
20, 30
This is where the
bucks to
real
get it
part of the
graded.
hobby.
So that's where the return is,
Yeah.
right?
But-
you paid $3 or whatever
Yeah.
for the card. You pay 30 for grading. So a lot of people that's where they would make their money.
Yeah, I
in the
know
hobby.
guys
those
that
days are
And they
over,
would take
for
that
sure.
money and buy big cards.
Yeah, but those days
that's
are
what I did.
over.
I know
And
guys
that's one
that
of the reasons why I think
graded
the market's
at-
kind of slow right
For
now.
sure.
Guys-
Because
that is the
faucet
reason.
My first
turned off.
ever big card, like not that big, but big card that I bought last Memorial Day weekend. I bought a John Morant Spectre RPA to 99. I bought it raw
Nice.
for $600.
Mm-hmm.
I paid 60 to get it graded. It graded a 10. I sold it at the last Dow show for 1,700.
Yeah.
Like, and that, I mean, that's a
Listen,
huge come up.
Everybody graded everything, dude.
Yeah.
They weren't educated. So one of the other things is
They're
a
grading
breaker,
thigh bowl base
but
cards.
Breakers need to educate them.
I swear.
If you can't,
Like, we
that's
got
fine. But then the
tons.
ripper needs to go and educate themselves a little bit as well. Now the thing you're gonna
That's
see,
a huge thing. Don't underline
You're
that.
gonna-
You have breakers giving advice to consumers that don't know jack shit.
yeah.
Like, sorry, like let's just cut it blank.
The consumer
Let's
also
be
has
honest.
to do their own research.
Yes,
You
but
shouldn't
the
be bu-
consumer wants to listen to the breaker, so the goddamn breaker
Well,
needs to learn
because-
something.
So that it
They
comes down.
want-
That comes
That's
down.
not
to,
cool.
That comes down to somebody.
I think
grading
that's not
everything.
cool.
I mean, that comes
Personally,
down
it's
to
my
content,
opinion.
There's so
too.
many
That's
people that were-
important to put out content, and like right now, there's cards out there, real shit, that are down
Listen.
60% in value, and I'm talking about big cards. I'm not
sure.
talking about
The jewelry,
$100, $1,000 card that's now 100. I'm talking about a $50,000 card that is like 10,000 today.
Yeah, well,
panic.
some of
Now,
that-
but that being said,
some of that stuff was
Huge.
overinflated.
there
man.
it
sure.
could have been, but there's also opportunities.
For sure.
If a 86 Fleer Michael Jordan PSA 8 got up to 30K, and today is selling at 7,000 to 8,000, might be something to look at.
For sure.
Not to say it's going back to 30, but could be 15. Could be 16.
There's a lot
I
of
think
buys
you're-
in the
I think
market
that
right now.
You have
People
to
are
look at things with
scared,
risk and
though, too,
reward. You
'cause
can't be
people-
scared.
Because people lost money.
Hold
People are
on,
gonna-
though.
people are
money
gonna
like
get
that
hurt on
before.
This is a
Burrow
very
and-
sensitive subject, but what I could tell you is this. You buy when shit's down, you buy when they don't play, you sell when shit's up, you
Oh,
sell when they
come on,
play.
that's how it
It's
works.
simple.
But some people don't.
It's
Some
simple.
people don't
Right now,
get
I'm
that.
gonna
But
tell you-
we're telling them.
Some people want to buy that Michael
I'm
Jordan
gonna
at
give you a
30K.
scenario right now where people are gonna get
Correct.
torched.
But you also have to be able to take profits. You know how many times
Yes,
you gotta
dude,
cut
when
it.
the market was
Agreed.
booming.
So right now, here we go.
When the market was
Burrow
booming,
and
I was
Herbert.
selling my PSA 10s. Like I sold a Mahomes, right? Sold it for 7,000. I paid 2,000 for it. A couple of my friends were like, "Why are you selling it? Why are you selling that card right now?" I said, "I made 5K."
5K.
They're like, "You're gonna make it's going to 20,000, 20,000."
Now you
I'm
just
like,
sell.
"Yo, I made 5K. I'm good."
I remember
I
that.
bought-
easy,
Dude,
though.
I just sold two Herberts
I bought a
for
Giannis
8K.
3K. I sold it for 7,000.
Yeah.
I made 4,000. I'm happy.
You
know how
back
much Giannis
yourself
is today?
into a price
2K.
point. You see where
Is he
you
gonna
are
go
on
back
that
up to
price
3
point,
when he
and you
wins?
take it
Like,
and go.
hopefully.
I think it's possible, but I think like you want to look at if I'm buying Giannis today, I want to buy an auto.
Silver.
I want to buy a silver.
But
So you buy color, you buy number right now. Color and number.
Giannis base is attractive at these levels.
I just bought a BGS 10.
Kawhi also.
I just bought a
that's
BGS 10
good buy.
base for 2,000.
Kawhi.
If you're not looking at pops when you're going to buy high-end cards, you are already missing out. I'm telling you that right now. Good luck.
lost.
Good luck. Like, what are you doing? You know?
2012 Prism
You're on full
Kawhi
tilt.
You lost.
Leonard
fully
PSA
tilted.
10 is a pop 1100.
The-
A pop
the-
1100.
Prism?
The biggest hurt coming in
and
the
they're
hobby.
down to like $1,000 right now.
And how much were they? 5, 4?
Six
The
at
big-
the peak. But then there's 20,000 Giannis's. I mean, 20,000 Zions. Like, I would buy a Kawhi.
Oh, dude, wait till you see what's
At
coming back.
900.
Wait
Yeah.
till you see what's coming back. Wait till you see how much is graded. The biggest hurt in the hobby is going to be the Burrow and Herbert drop-off because you have 5 quarterbacks coming. You can't have 5 quarterbacks from the class before and 5 quarterbacks now. You can't have 10 good quarterbacks. Have the guys that
Let's
are already
I mean, this is my
established
opinion,
with belts,
but
with
let's
rings.
take
I
Burrow
said
out of that.
I said this the other
Herbert.
day.
Well,
Burrow
some-
is going to be the
they're-
future of the NFL.
I love
Joe Burrow.
Burrow's a great
future of the
buy,
NFL.
bro.
In my
Okay.
opinion.
Burrow's a
Herbert is
some of
just-
those
some
are
people have
not.
to-
One of them are going to make it, and then you have
Burrow.
a class coming in now. Listen, if one of those quarterbacks goes 0-4, 0-5 to start the year, dude, or both of them do, their cards are gonna dip.
Yeah.
Big
And that's
time.
a buy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Burrow is not a buy this year.
You
Burrow's a
can't
buy
say
next
Burrow
year.
or Herbert's never
Burrow's
going to
on-
win a Super Bowl.
Burrow's on
I'm not
prime
saying
time.
that. I didn't say that
Just
right
like
now.
the
I just
point that
said
you made
let's call it
about
as a
LeBron.
scenario
You
right
made
now.
the point about LeBron, right? And what's going on in the postseason? LeBron eventually is leaving, and then it's who's going to step up for the future of NBA.
Post-era
The
LeBron.
hobby's changing, right?
Yes.
What happens in football
Tom
when
Brady.
Brady retires, which is going to happen in
Well,
the
it's
next couple
Mahomes.
of years.
Eventually
It's
has-
Mahomes,
It's
and then it's
Mahomes
Mahomes and who?
and
And
who?
question mark.
Yeah.
That's
So
right.
Mahomes is a buy right now. The kid is
Mahomes is the
phenomenal.
best.
We
He's the
all
Steph
know
Curry
that.
of the NFL.
I
He's the
think
best.
Allen is a buy.
Josh Allen's
I think Josh Allen's gonna put a ring on.
You're seeing
he's
in the prices
big. He's a
already?
monster.
Yeah.
He's
like
the new-
like
he's
a
the reincarnation of
he's
Big
like
Ben.
Big,
He's the
Big
reincarnation
Ben
of Big
point
Ben.
2.0.
He's the
Just like
reincarnation-
DK Metcalf.
and I'm the biggest
It's
Steelers
Megatron
fan.
Big
2.0.
Ben's prices are nowhere.
Someone
considered.
someone tried to sell me a card for 35,000. Big Ben at Philly show.
Wow, what was that? What- what-
NT,
what-
RPA, Pop
Wow.
PSA 10,
Crazy.
Pop
Pittsburgh's
2.
Steelers fan?
it's
Jesus.
BGS.
BGS 10?
BGS 10.
I wanted it, but not for 35,000.
What was the card you bought? The gold Ben at one of the shows.
Oh, I
right?
bought a Big Ben on-card
Top
auto.
yeah.
Top's
Listen,
Top's
you know-
finest
you know a
on-card
few
auto.
things,
PSA
too?
10, Pop 3.
No one ever wants to talk about the hobby, and I'm just going to be one to say because I always like
Say
to
it,
voice
Danny.
it. Dude,
Say it.
the hobby is like a scratch off, man. You're scratching off, scratch
Every
off. You're going to win, you're going to
time.
lose.
It's easy.
All right?
We're gambling.
That's
the
why
word
I
no
go
one
live
wants
in
to
the
say. It's a
casino.
gamble. It's a
Easy.
gamble. There you
We're
go.
gambling.
Hey,
We're gambling.
everybody, Atlantic
We're
City,
gambling.
Las Vegas. It's a
why I go
gamble.
live in the
That's what this is.
casinos.
That's why people like this. They like the risk versus reward. They like knowing
Rip
what's not
responsibly.
behind that wax,
I li-
that paper, and then what comes behind it. The ooh, the ow, the coulda, shoulda, woulda, the oh,
The
there
tilting,
it
the
is.
Joe Reed,
The tilt. They
the-
love it. I love it.
Zion!
Loves it.
Williamson!
Gold ring!
Moran out of
Murray
Murray
State.
State.
50,000!
It's all about the antics, man. That's why I love Vici too. Shout out to Give Me a Break. Like I love watching him. Like he has
Oh,
that.
hell yeah.
He has
Mad
that
breakers,
vibe.
dude.
He
You
has
got
that
Flushings,
vibe.
who's a dope breaker.
Flushings is really
Flushings,
cool, too.
dope
Beachy one
breakers.
night, I
You
was-
got rounders.
Wasted. I was like,
Yeah, when I'm drunk, bro, I'm in everyone's
I was
life,
drunk.
bro. I want to rip
I
some
was
shit.
drunk. I was in Vici's room. Give me a break, and I'm like writing in the chat like how much for the box? How much for the box? And they're not seeing it, so I sent them a voice note, and I'm wasted. I'm like, how much is the fucking box?
Yeah.
And the next day, I'm on the fucking voice thing
Oh
on
yeah.
the sound machine.
Oh, that's you?
Oh, they
Yeah,
put you
how
on-
much?
How much is the box?
He loves it.
It was
So you see,
horrible.
like right there, you see how they figured a way to get.
Yeah, they have a
unique-
soundboard. They
unique
love
in
it.
their
It's
brand.
awesome,
Yeah.
You gotta
Soundboard
set
is
yourself
amazing.
apart. You gotta find these things.
That's
You gotta do
them,
these
For
things. Set
sure.
yourself
Well,
apart.
also what's really
Creativity, boy.
Yeah,
Big
what's
time.
what's
You
really
have to
cool is you
create.
come from so many different places, right? Like Vici was like doing that rap shit, and you could see how he incorporated that into
Gimme,
his
gimme,
brand.
gimme, gimme.
Jimmy is a financial advisor. He's incorporated that into his numbers. I came from sneakers, and whatever I did, and I incorporated that. Prestige incorporated his shit. You incorporated your shit. Like we all come from different places, but but then we all come together. And although, yes, we technically do the same thing and competition, like, dude, we need to work
No, you
together.
want to be I tell everybody
until
this
you get out of the union.
This
like
right
you
to-
do
Yeah,
it
you're
until
right.
you eliminate yourself
You're right.
from it.
That's it.
Your only competition
And then
you have is
and then that
yourself.
makes us stronger.
Your job
together.
is to be a flavor on the soda machine and just make. They say, hey, Prestige, gonna drink you a couple times today. Oh, we're gonna get Pullwax flavor.
sure.
Let's get a little SniperManis flavor. Let's
All
get a little
day.
Pullwax
All
flavor.
day, dude.
Just
All
make
day.
sure that they drink your flavor a few times a day.
100%.
Flavor machine. That's it. And then you're good. You know.
You're
And
right,
you
though.
have to
Like,
have
pause on all of
Make
that,
sure
but
you're
it's
having
good.
fun.
Yeah,
Like,
fun is
I'm-
huge, dude. I have fun.
The greatest thing
I have so much fun
about
with
this job, or
Sam,
like
It's the best job in the world. We're opening Christmas presents every
Correct.
day.
It's
Are you
just
kidding
fun.
me?
Like you get to travel to shows. You get to
The
meet
best.
all these
Facts.
people.
It's the
like
nuts.
Network,
I have
people
met
go- it's
people in the
awesome.
hobby that I will be friends with for the rest of my fucking life.
100%.
And I would have never met people in
That's
Indiana.
why I'm trying to, like,
Indiana.
Chili Palmer.
Shout out to
Chili Palmer.
You know,
Luisito.
Louis,
card social
Rip,
club?
Rip Ruckus, Card Fiend, Ali. I mean, there's just relationships that are built that you
Yeah, I
can't.
met so many good
You just
people.
can't. You can't like
And even the consumers, too.
underestimate and
Yeah,
have
dude,
fun.
they're
and
all
have
Best.
They have
the
a
chat
ball with
is
us
the
in the
best,
room.
bro.
Right,
Like
the
my
chat
chat,
is
I
nuts.
love.
The
Yeah,
chat
We
is
love our
nuts.
chats.
Yeah,
We all
chat is
do.
the
Yeah, we do.
That's what
shout
makes
out,
it.
Shout out to all the breakers
That's
that
what
get
makes
down with
it.
their chat and get
For sure.
live with their
But
people
that's
in
but
their
the
lives.
main thing is
And
people.
that's another thing that people you said what
Down,
it takes to
get down.
what it takes to be a breaker. I said this with To the Moon Collectibles yesterday. Like you have to be yourself, and then if you're not yourself, like you will get fucking exposed.
Yeah.
That's just
Yeah,
how
well,
it
dude,
is.
If
Yeah,
you are
real
who you
recognize
say you are,
you
then
as
be
a-
that.
When
Yeah, real
he
recognize
first
real.
went on Whatnot, he was like, "What do I do?" And I was like, "Moon, be yourself."
It's
He's
easy.
like,
How?
He's like, "Really? No."
Anybody who's
he
ever
goes,
asked
"Really?"
me-
I said, "Yeah." I was like, "You're
Why would you
you're a
I,
great."
pretend?
I
You're a
told
nice
them
guy.
that
Like
and
people
lose
don't
to win.
realize what I see all the time. What irritates the fuck out of me is that people that I know that go live that are not themselves.
Yeah.
Facts.
So when they're in the live and
You
they're
can tell.
they're just trying too
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
hard.
yo, dude,
like
you know what?
to me, I don't want to rip with you.
Yeah.
I,
I
want to rip with that person that is
And it's like,
authentic
we both know this,
for
though.
themselves. You know?
I have
It's a vibe.
multiple breakers that have asked me for help, that I've helped along the way. They've mimicked my style. We both know that they
Oh,
mimic your
good, yeah.
style. The loud, rough rowdiness and all that. Like, dude,
Facts.
very flamboyant, very out there, energetic, the whole nine, whatever we are, right? A lot of guys I've known that have been around me, they've modeled that and they're successful. I have a kid now, no job, very successful.
Yeah, that's
They're
your-
Danny,
listen.
Greatest City Collectibles. Hey,
The
dude, he's
man.
a protege in the making.
He's a
dude.
beast.
He's gonna be a beast.
He's going to be a beast.
I mean, if he wasn't
Danny,
going
if
to
you're
college
watching
and doing
this,
what he
you're the
was doing,
boy.
playing
Yeah.
college football,
Yeah.
D-Rock would be D-Rockefeller full time.
100%.
Greatest
D-Rockefeller.
city. He would take over New York City,
For
bro.
sure.
I know he
He
would.
will.
About
He's a
no
beast,
job,
the
about
kid.
no job cards.
Shout out to
Other-
G,
that's my
too.
man.
Other
Greg.
other than Pullwax and Pull Kings, who like I started on, I fucked with no job cards.
That's my man, Greg.
guy. He
Greg,
used to do
Greg-
$5. Listen, he used to do $5 pulls, right? With the chasers on the back. My first ever night, I went live for my personal page, and I did.
He helped you?
I know
Oh,
I
you did what he
I
did?
DM'd him, and I said, "Bro,
Awesome.
I literally he'll tell you this. I DM'd him, and I said, "Bro, is it cool if I do $5 pulls?" He's like, "Yeah, bro, of course." I did $5 pulls. I got off that night on my personal page. I had $2,000 in my Venmo.
You were
I was
like,
like,
"What?"
holy shit, right?
Yeah.
So then that next day, I put on my personal page. I said, "Do you guys fuck with?" Because I'm from a town called Belmar in Jersey. I said, "You guys fuck with B-Town breaks or Prestige pulls?" And literally, what Prestige came from, it wasn't the Step Brothers. Like I
Yeah.
just thought the top rank in Call of Duty, dead ass, like just the
Yeah.
best of the
Oh, I
best.
like that.
So it was like Prestige
name
pulls,
was-
and it blew it out of the park. And then that night, I went live. with it.
Dude, I actually thought you were part of, I had no idea. I thought he was part of Santiago because his colors were so
Yeah.
I didn't know
he
that.
went.
They-
He just went to Santiago.
Yeah, I just went
to the store
there.
to meet
Oh,
him.
but
I
the
didn't even know
logos
him.
look very similar. I
sure,
remember
yeah,
when
I had-
asked you.
Maybe that's why he gives you so much shit.
Yeah.
I thought also. I thought
He's gonna
it,
be
when,
chilled.
when I first met you, Mark. Also, I thought you were.
No, I thought
No
so. Yeah,
cap,
the
I
colors,
also
yeah.
did that.
I didn't know. I
because
thought
I met
at
you
first
at a
thing I
bunch of
asked
shows
you.
That's who I
before
was.
Miami.
That's who I started to travel.
Because I always just.
I literally said, that's so funny. When I was in To the Moon
told
Collectibles,
you
I went
things.
over
That's
all
cool.
this. I literally
Yeah.
went to his shop because I saw I was only an hour from my crib, and he was
heard.
doing these packs, and they cost like $300, and I literally went. I bought a $300 pack, and that was it. I met him, told him where I was from. We linked, and then we started to go to shows together.
But
and then
that's what's
just
cool.
what
But
it's about,
that's why
bro.
you're being successful in this is
with
obviously
everybody.
because,
That was
but
the
you
first
know
one.
He's
how.
learning
$5
some from
pulls.
you. He's learning. That's the best thing. Listen, to
I
be good
remember
at this,
that.
you
The
take a
OG.
little bit of everybody.
created it.
Yeah, I remember
and you
that.
Get to
I created
create your
it.
own.
I
No
mimicked it.
bullshit.
I did like $25
You loved
pulls.
it, bro. It was the best. I
I
had
want
When I
all my
you know, Greg,
When I first started,
Greg,
nobody knew what it was.
We gotta bring that back
been
on what
me
now?
for a couple of
No,
months
seriously.
now.
$5
Greg,
He
pulls.
started coming
$100
over my house
Yeah.
and like
Why
just
not?
asking
$100
and learning,
auction
dude.
pool.
He
Yeah,
Best
replicated.
apples.
No,
Greg
just
is
buy
now
it now.
buying cases, and Greg is ripping
Sure.
cases.
I see Greg at every show.
Yeah.
Where are we at on time, Melvin?
We're way
I think
over.
this is the longest podcast we've
Easily.
ever done.
An hour and 8 minutes.
What?
Holy shit.
Oh, wait, are we going to the Marlins game?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, let's go to the Marlins.
that-
Why didn't you cut us
Hey,
off?
we might have to
No,
do another one of
it's
these.
too good. No, this
Yeah,
is
we have to
great.
do another
This,
one.
hey,
Real quick.
we said the
Shout
last
out to-
podcast was the best. This is the best one.
One
Shout out,
hour.
hey, real quick.
Snap.
Shout out to all you guys. Shout out to Whatnot. Shout out to all the people that have made our brands, because at the end of the day,
Facts.
it's
Yes.
the followers and
Yeah.
the rippers that come to our
And it doesn't
channels
have to be
that have
original
built us.
support.
That's
It could be
surreal.
hate. They still help us.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Hey, you guys,
They help us.
If you're one of the 100, I love you, bro.
And
Love you.
anybody is out there.
Whatnot to the moon.
If
And that's the
anybody who's
biggest
out
thing in
there
the
who
hobby
needs
is
help
Whatnot.
in the hobby.
Yeah, hit us up.
Hit us up.
Any of us.
If you need a job, hit up Chris.
Shout out to Pullwax
and
for doing this
shout out to
podcast right
Pullwax,
here.
man. I was excited
Oh,
for
the
this.
Chuck D's?
Yo,
You got
so
the Chuck
shout out
D's.
to Edison Chen. He sent me these. These are super
fuck
dope,
with
and I've never had a pair of Converses, and I'm gonna rock the hell out of them. So major shout out to Eddie.
Prestige is
Appreciate
like, I
you.
want those.
Appreciate you. We're gonna definitely get right on this. Shout out to these Converses.
easy.
Thank you guys. Thank you, Michael Melgan, for making all this happen.
Well, yeah, we'll
Episode
see you at
10.
Nationals.
Yes.
We'll see you. I'm
Atlanta-
not
I'm
going
going
to Atlanta.
I'm gonna go to Atlanta. Boston.
I'm going to where I know it works, Texas. So I'll see you in Texas.
Got you.
Shout out to all my Texas peeps.
Got
AAA
you.
cards,
You know
savvy.
what it is.
And then where are we going after that? Oh, Big Night Breaks. We're going up.
Yeah, we're going to.
Yes, sir.
We're definitely going.
That's a wrap.
All right, let's get it.
Wrap.